So I was looking at that weird website that I got sent in Discord, the one with all these weird links on magic and religion and aliens and all this weird shit. And I saw at the top of this website, amongst the giant list of links, was one on how to become invisible. Like the link was literally just how to become invisible or some shit. So I knew it was like some real stuff, not a joke. So I clicked this link on how to become invisible and started reading it. And this whole link, this was this weird fucking website from like 1995 or some shit, created by like some psychic that Anthony sent me on Discord, right? You know Anthony, we all love Anthony. Anyways, this page on how to become invisible, it started talking about the history of invisibility and how all throughout history, different cultures and religions have talked about becoming invisible and or some shit. And at that very end of this weird link, actually had like some instructions on how to make yourself become invisible, like actual, like a fucking X-Men, bro, like become invisible. But before that, it just started talking about the history of it, and it was talking about this group of powers called the Siddhis. I think it was the Siddhis or some shit, which is something in like some Indian religion, which is basically a bunch of powers you obtain from getting into like deep meditation, is what these Siddhis are or some shit. And I searched it up, and that's actually a legit thing. Like there's a website for these Siddhis, where it lists all the powers you get supposedly from entering a deep meditation, and invisibility is one of them. So you know, I'm always saying if anyone can become invisible or get these superpowers right, it's these fucking monks. And that's not cap, bro, because this Wikipedia was talking about how like in some Indian like religion you can obtain invisibility from like deep meditation. I was like, what the fuck? And it also started on this weird website, it started talking about something called involuntary human invisibility or some shit like that, or spontaneous human involuntary invisibility, which is basically where there's been reported cases of people throughout the world just becoming invisible, and like motherfuckers can't see them because they just become invisible. And I searched that up. It was like, what was that shit? Spontaneous human invisibility, involuntary invisibility. It was some shit like that. And I searched it up, and then I came across some weird blog that reported or recorded all these cases of involuntary spontaneous invisibility. And there were stories of people being at like parties and shit, and they become completely invisible, and like no one else can see them. Sorry, you know what? I need to wipe my fucking nose, but there's no tissues here. Anyway, so yeah, that weird website just led me to this blog talking about how there's cases of people that become invisible to everyone. And I don't know, I was like, what the fuck's that about? So I just went back on the weird magic website and started reading the rest of the fucking invisibility page. And I got down to the bottom. I just skipped ahead to the bottom. I just wanted to become invisible, bro. I want to be like an X-Men motherfucker. And to be honest, I did not understand these instructions on becoming invisible. This woman who wrote this weird website listed out like 5 steps to make yourself invisible, and she even gave like a kind of scientific reason for why this shit works, bro. Like, she's not playing. She was explaining shit about like particles and like neutrons and shit, stuff I didn't understand, and like giving a theory on how you can become invisible. And her instructions were like, imagine or visualize the energy field around you, and visualize the light of your energy field like going upwards or something. It was some weird kind of like esoteric magic shit that I didn't understand. So I did try it. I did try the exercise. I was kind of alone in my room, so I don't know if I fucking became invisible, bro. I don't know if that shit worked. But this was interesting because after that, I was like, you know, I'm not sure if it worked for me, but surely this invisibility shit worked for someone else. So I started searching on Reddit, of course. I went to Reddit, bro, and went on the occult subreddit. You know that shit? occult stuff like magic and spells and whatever. I went on the occult subreddit and searched up invisibility to see if anyone had experience with it. And there was a post on that subreddit asking like, anyone have good experience with the power of invisibility? And there was motherfuckers commenting on their experiences with like becoming invisible and like praying to this weird god and some shit. I don't know what it was about, but the top reply to this was someone talking about how they have practiced becoming invisible their whole life, and they've found a way to like not physically become invisible, but make their energy so like, I don't know, kind of make their energy invisible so no one actually notices them and they can kind of just be ignored. And this guy who wrote this reply talked about when he was a kid, he used to practice his invisibility, he used to like sneak up on like dogs and cats and shit. This guy on this occult fucking subreddit, he used to sneak up on animals as a child to practice his invisibility powers. So this guy is like the OG of OGs on like occult shit. He was doing it since he was a fucking youngin', bro. And this reply was from like 7 years ago or some shit. So I was thinking like, what level is this guy at now? But I read the rest of his reply, and he was talking about there was one time in his dorm where he followed his friend around for 5 minutes, and he managed to do this invisible occult shit. So his friend had no idea he was being followed for this 5 whole minutes, and his friend only saw him when he went to turn off the light, and he turned around and then he saw this occult motherfucker just sitting in a chair staring at him, bro. So I was like, what the fuck? That sounds like a joke or some shit. That sounds like some comedy thing, but it had the most upvotes and everyone was taking it very seriously. So I was like, okay. And after reading that Reddit shit about people becoming invisible, that took me back and just reminded me of like this magic phase and this kind of occult phase I had when I was 8 years old, right? I don't know if you had that shit. Maybe it was because I was like watching a bunch of Harry Potter, but I used to watch when I was younger these videos on YouTube, bro, on like how to become invisible and how to fly and how to do all this shit. And on my quest for like supernatural powers when I was 8 years old, bro, I came across this like spell website. This just popped in, this actually just popped into my head like 3 days ago, right? When I just remembered I used to visit this spell website when I was a kid that had like a bunch of fucking spells on it. And like all these magic tutorials that I used to go on so much, and I did all these spells. I just remembered it the other day, and then I found out the website that I was on. This links in with the invisibility shit, right? And I found out this magic website I used to go on in my occult 8-year-old phase. It was called spellsofmagic.com. I don't know if you've been on that shit. Spellsofmagic.com, bro. I was a regular user of that shit when I was 8. And I remember this because I actually went on the website and tried to get my account, and I managed to fucking log in to my account on spellsofmagic.com that I made when I was like 8 years old, bro. And this like links in with the invisibility shit because I remember I always used invisibility spells from this website, bro, when I was like a kid, because in school, I didn't want to be called on by the teacher to answer a question or some shit. And when I was 8 years old, my teachers were like, they were bitches, bro. They were fucking cunts. So I remember getting like an invisibility spell. I remember getting one of those from the spellsofmagic.com when I was 8 years old. I don't remember the exact spell, but I remember it was like a like phrase I had to repeat, right? And then people wouldn't notice me and they wouldn't notice my energy and would ignore me. And so every time I was in class, I always repeated this spell in my head to like make myself invisible. And I swear to fucking God, bro, I swear to God, the teacher never called on me when I did that shit. The teacher just ignored me every time I did that spell. So I don't know if I was like a spellcaster, occult wizard, 8-year-old motherfucker, but like I may have been onto some shit. And it was funny because I went back on that website that I used today, the Spells and Magic site, and I saw there was a bunch of like invisibility spells, and they were all just kind of bullshit. Like you could tell they were all just written by like 8-year-olds, like me when I was younger. Although funnily enough, I went on my profile and there wasn't shit on it, so I never uploaded a spell. But I saw, yeah, on these invisibility spells written by fucking children, bro, because they were just cringe. There was one user that commented on every single spell that was uploaded on this website. His name was like Tadashi or some shit. And on every single one of these cringe fucking spells, he commented something like, "This will not work. This is not how magic works. This," and then on some he was like, "This will help make your energy invisible, but this will not do this." So this Tadashi guy was commenting on every one of these spells as if it was like a whole serious thing, and he was pissed that these 8-year-olds were making up bullshit. So I was like, what the hell? And I clicked on the profile of this Tadashi guy, and his profile said he was very active on spellsandmagic.com. And I looked on his profile and it said he was in his bio, it said he was raised as a witch and he has no tolerance for role playing, bro. He has no tolerance for role playing because he was raised as a witch. I was like, okay, that's why he's been commenting on all these 8-year-old fucking spells about how they're wrong. And he actually had like 5 spells he uploaded by himself on this website. But when I clicked on them, they didn't fucking work. Like they all said they were private or some shit. So this guy who was raised as a witch, I couldn't do any of his spells because he said they were private. So yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I'm kind of looking at, I'm just looking at this shit I wrote down about this invisible stuff. I didn't write that much, but yeah, it's just fucking weird, bro. So the invisible thing, I don't know. I may need to keep at it. Once again, I'll send you the link to all this shit. So if you want to try and become invisible, I don't know, have a go at it. Because actually, you know what I was looking at here is that woman who wrote the invisibility tutorial, bro. She wrote that she became invisible while she was driving to like avoid a fucking police car or some shit. Like she wanted to avoid a police car, so she made herself invisible, but then she said she almost crashed her car because no one else could see her, and then once she passed the police car or police radar or some shit, she had to make herself visible again. So I don't know what's up with that. That weird website, it was written in like 1995, and it has hundreds of links on like magic and occult shit. So yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Fucking hell. Also I made, because of a live stream I did, bro, this is kind of off topic, but because of a live stream I did, and people, for some reason, people bought the membership on my YouTube channel, bro. I don't know why people bought that shit, but they did. And I was like, you know, I should probably make something for that. So I made the SSS, the super secret Discord server, bro, for channel members. And you know what? It's just dead as fuck. And I'm meant to be posting a bunch of weird links to websites and shit. So I don't know if you'd be interested in that. But if you are, just know you no longer get absolutely nothing for becoming a channel member. You'll get access to the SSS. And I'm surprised YouTube approved that shit, actually. I'm surprised they approved that name, bro, but they did. So, I don't know. Once again, you know, sometimes I talk and I'm like, am I even being coherent right now? I just realized I've been rambling on about like invisibility and magic and shit. Are you even following this? Are you following what the fuck I'm talking about? And at the same time, my nose is fucking running because I'm freezing. Sometimes I don't know if I'm just schizophrenic and just talking about some random shit, bro. But I don't know. Join the Discord, and I love you. I love you with all my heart. I love you. I love you. I love you.